Welcome to Scarecrow Miniature Painting. I'm Steven, and today we are going to continue working on our two tabaxi rogues. So, if you remember in the last video, we explained how we primed these in white. So that is why this one is darker, and this one is not. This one's darker because we used a dark wash on it, and if you look closely, that dark wash turned out amazing. It gave all of the recesses and crevices a good highlight. So now I know what you're thinking. Why are we going back and doing the tabaxi again in black? Well, there's some parts that I missed in the last video that we're just quickly double checking and touching up. Um, for instance, the tail is showing a little bit of what I call finger blending. Pretty much what that is, in my definition, is, bear with me, pretty much what that is where the miniature, the paint didn't take fully onto it. So I'm just going to go back over that one a little bit. I'm going to go over the toes, darken them up a little bit. I do apologize for that. Little scarecrow decided he wanted to try running off with the other miniature. That's why I usually do these at night. Here lately I've been doing them earlier and earlier just because he's getting a little bit more into the hobby as well. And at 3 years old, he's a little young for it, but I'm not going to break his creativity or what he loves doing. He likes spending time with his dad. I'm going to try giving him as much time as I can. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going over the figure, checking to see what colors we need. Double checking this to see where colors for the skin tone are going to go. And it looks like there should be an opening on that arm. Let me see where. So about right here. Should be that opening for the arm. Like so. Now, the reason I did it that way is because I'm following it off this guide right here. And you can see it right there a little bit more clearer. So I'm going to pull that a little bit more upward. And that'll give us a nice little definition of where that break is in that arm. I might have done that a little too high as well. Let me check. Where's that first buckle? First buckle is there. Yeah, we did that a little too high. But that's fine. We can always go back and fix that. I'll just do my best to not get paint right on that. So that we know that that's a break right there. So that we can go back over it with our secondary color there. Now, we haven't decided what color we're going to use for that. I'm leaning more towards a dark brown for the band, maybe even a gray. But I'm just going to paint this up. And around. So, usually I give my weekly updates around this time, so let's give a couple of updates. Friday, we may not have a video. It is my niece's birthday. And we are going to go celebrate her birthday at her house and spend some time with the family. This weekend, however, we should have at least 2 videos uploaded. So that's what we did with that. And he's looking more like a panther with every single bit that we paint, and that's what I love. That's what we were going for with this model. It was more of a panther feel. Okay. Okay, now this one is done as well. So we're going to move on to our next base coat. Now, our next base coat that I'm going to do is going to be our reds. So, we're going to start with Vampire Red. Now, another quick update. A couple of you were reaching out to me asking me what I use to clean my brushes. I use B&J Specialty Prepared. You can get this on Amazon for $11. And that's just what I use. Originally, I was just using water. But I feel that is a little bit of chest pain there, like usual. Remember, it isn't a Scarecrow miniature painting video unless I'm having chest pain. Oh, and we are not done with the black. So he actually has, and that's going to actually make this look really good. Based on the model, he has an open shirt. Like so. Now he does have like a little necklace there. We're going to definitely get that as well. I'm thinking of doing that in a gold, maybe a silver. Something that'll make it pop on that black. And you see me constantly going back and forth just because there's like how the mold line looks is very confusing at times. We are not using our smoke yet. We are using our red. Okay. So I'm going to use my Vampire Red. Now remember, this is just our base coat. It's going to be a little dark. This figure is going to be, I wouldn't say the end result should not be dark like a lot of our other figures, like the Wraith. The Wraith was really dark. I will admit that. But we're just going to go across every bit. of the shirt. Okay. Now, the reason we chose red is because you will definitely see how priming a figure in red and then using a wash to not dilute it, but to get those accesses and recesses shows through differently than just leaving it out in the open as red. So we're going to start the second coat. Okay. And yes, you do hear Team 4-Star in the background. I was watching it earlier before I decided I should start painting. And we just have not turned it off yet. That's what we got for the second coat. Now there's this spot here where I'm just going to add a brief third coat because I can still see some of the light showing through. Okay, so he is now done. We're now going to move on to this one with the red. Now we're going to keep the same color scheme across both of these. Now with this one already being, in my personal opinion, damaged because of me poorly priming it, I'm not too worried about where the paint is as long as we show the different contrasts. For instance, this is one coat and this is two coats. Once this dries, we'll start doing the second coat. But that is what we have. That is 2 coats. So, if you look at these and compare them side by side, you'll see the vast difference. I'll even move them around so that we can see that it's not really the light changing it. It's definitely that primer. So that's why whenever I say let's do a zenithal highlight or let's do a specific kind of highlight, I always specify what we are going to do. Because different highlights, different ways you move through the techniques will change how those are applied. Now, just like with the other Vallejo, these are already pretty thinned down, so I'm not going to do a lot of thinning. I'm just going to dip my brush in the water, smack it against the side. To get some water in there. Brush it off. Because we don't want it turning into a wash. We want it to actually paint onto the fabric. So let's begin. The way it was painting onto it, it looked more like it was the... Ooh, actually, we're going to have more red to do now that I'm looking at this. Because it goes down further. As I was saying, though, the way it was coming out and it was being applied, to me, looked more like the wood grain. And we don't want wood grain on this because with how wood grain is designed on the miniature itself, it makes more of a true wood grain look, even if the surface is flat. Actually, smoke would have been a good one for the top. Or not the top, the guard, actually. I could still do the guard and everything up here in the same color as smoke, but I'm trying to branch out of using too much of the same color in the same area. that's what we have. I really like how it's already in the recesses that we made. I'm just looking it over, making sure I got every little dot. We're going to do the same thing over here. Now remember, this one has no priming, no base coats on the pants, and no washes. So let's see what the difference is between the two. I'm just doing a couple touch-ups real quick on this one. But as you can already see, that is a vast difference between this one and the other one. This one's more of a yellow brown, whereas that one is more of a dark tan. This is starting to look more khaki-like. So I'm just going to go back in here. I'm going to grab those reds and we're going to finish those highlights that I saw, or the base coats I saw. For the reds. Okay. So I'm just going to take this dry brush, or dry paper towel I should say. I'm just going to touch up any of the smoke that may have turned red from leakage. Well, we can definitely touch the smoke up as well, because there was not much with that leakage. And that's what we have. Let me get out of the way so we can focus in. He is turning out excellent. In the next video, we are going to do the base coats for both the scabbards, the belts, the pouches, and we are going to start on these guards. Beyond that, we also are going to do the base coats for the feet. Beyond that, that's really it for this episode. They're already coming more together than I would have thought they would have. And you see me looking over, I'm just looking to see if this little bobble right here is supposed to be attached or not. It's not. Okay. So, with that being said, oh, nope. We got one more smoke. I forgot that we did that. It's right there. We're just going to brush that over, soak it up. We're going to try and get more of the actual pigment. Second coat, like so. For the back of the pants. Well, no, that does look like it's supposed to... It looks more like it's supposed to be red there. It might be shirt that we're looking at. So we can definitely touch that up with red instead. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nosler miniatures are not the most detailed, and I swear they do that on purpose. Beyond that, we will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.